Okay. Hello, hello. Hey, Meliko. How are you?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. How are you?
Awesome. It seems like we are live. So, for all of you guys, thank you for being here. So, we have Melissa Dueñas today. So, that's going to be exciting. She's part of our team, the Cash Flow Empire team. As you guys, you're going to see her more with us, going to the properties because, actually she's moving to Dallas. And I hope that I'm not, ruining any surprises, Melly, by saying this, but if you want to start the conversation, just telling everybody why did you decide to move to Dallas?
Yeah, of course. So I am originally from Dallas. I am a Dallas native. I grew up there on a little subsidy named Grand Prairie. I then moved over to Virginia to follow in, I would say, in the area and the field that I'm in the solar industry. And we only did that because my spouse is in the Air Force, so was stationed here in Virginia. We've only been here for 2.5 years, but I am eager to get back to Dallas because I feel like all the opportunities are there. I want to be in the melting pot while it's boiling. I want to grow and diversify my portfolio. And I just feel like by being in Dallas, it's just going to take everything to the next level. I want to help, the team and everything. I'm in charge of this acquisitions, property acquisitions. So ultimately, I think it's just gonna solidify what I want to do long term. And yeah, I want to be a part of and close to this amazing team that I've been so grateful to meet.
That is amazing. Thank you for sharing that. And just having that proximity and those connections, actually, I think that we can just build a bigger team, things, right? Especially in the journey. But let's start the conversation because today's conversation is going to be about, those 5 steps that people should be aware of before they decide to invest in a fix and flip project, right? So those are 5 things that people need to know before because sometimes investing it can be scary. Sometimes investing can be a little difficult, especially hearing the news about what's going on with the interest rates. Social media sometimes is just telling not the truth, and also I see a lot of scams out there too. Some people they're just saying lies just to try to get some people involved in different partnerships or investments, right? But first of all, if you want to share from your point of view, Melly, why we are doing fix and flips. Let's start the conversation like that.
Yeah, well, I think fix and flips is a great avenue in order to be. It diversifies your portfolio, but it's a really good avenue in order to give you quick and easy cash. So that way you can invest it in other things. So for me personally, I am tired of working for money. I want my money to work for me. And, growing up Hispanic and lower income, we weren't necessarily taught all the things that I'm learning now. So ultimately, I mean, fix and flips gives you the ability to have very quick cash that you can ultimately then invest into other things like multifamily or whatever it is that you'd like, of course. But that gives you more of that long term stretch that people are looking for, that long term cash flow. So I think that fix and flips is just a great way for you to be able to allow your money to make money for you fast.
Absolutely, yes, 100% right. That's why I love this strategy because I hear this question a lot, and people are asking us, okay, how do you get the money to buy, multifamily properties, right? And if we just invest passively in multifamily, sooner or later we're going to be running out of cash of money, right? So it's going to be a little bit more
Exactly.
difficult. And we need to just go back and work and make more money, and then maybe wait another year to buy another assets. So we're trying to save time and actually expedite and grow exponentially. So that's the whole goal. So, but let's go because people are waiting about these 5 steps that people should be aware of before investing in a fix and flip. And the first of them is actually market research and location. Why do you think that is key, Melly, from your point of view about why do you think that this is important?
Location is everything. And we're not just talking about fix and flips or anything else. Location is everything. You want to treat it as if you were the one that's going to be moving in because ultimately somebody is going to be doing the research, right? And it has to be appealing. You have to make sure, of course, that there's good schools, that there's decent stores in the area, low crime rates. You have to think about what's comfortable based off of what you can afford. But realistically, I mean, every different city offers different opportunities. I mean, if you think about it, there's work, there's a lot of different things. So it's going to appeal to many different types of ethnicities, a lot of different types of demographics. So you want to ensure that you get the location right, because if you could have, what is it called? You want to make sure that you have, for example, a diamond, no matter where you're at. So, yeah.
Yeah, and if it is your first time actually hearing about this strategy, so that's something that we always consider before we buy an asset, because our philosophy is always we make money when we buy, right? Because we already know for how much we can sell the property at, and usually in the fix and flip model. So how we know that, right? So we need to do a market research and know how much people are selling the properties around this area, right? Just to know what is that going to be that exit strategy, right? So it's important to know, and also we want to make sure that we buy in an area where people want to live, right? Because if at the end we buy in a really, I would say maybe a crappy area or dangerous area, just imagine how long it's going to be taking to sell that property, right? And for us, time is money. We don't want to make sure that we want to make sure that we spend, maybe 1, 2, 3 months, at the most, right, to flip a property. That's how you usually perform in the business, right? So this is key, guys, that you consider. So location and market research, that is important in order to make the fix and flip business really successful. So the second part, let's go, because that's something that people need to know about financing, and it needs to be a planning in there. It's not just go to get approved for a loan. It needs to be financing planning, right? So what do you think about this? If I talk about financing, Melly?
Well, I think that financial planning is huge. I mean, you want to make sure that you budget and allocate enough money to the side for many different things. Of course, you want to ensure that you have money there just in case there's an emergency. You want to make sure that you have a good document that explains where the money is going to go, how much it's going to spend. You have to have projections, because ultimately, I mean, you want to make sure you hit those, and the only way is through preparation. So I think financial planning and budgeting is so important. It's going to make it or break it for you, because if you do this step incorrectly as well, it can cost you a lot of money. And it's probably one of the most stressful parts about it, because you can expect to have X amount of money allocated for something, but in construction, you just never know. Things could always happen. So then you're now taking money out of the profit that you're anticipating to create, and that could be a really bad, a really bad situation that you don't want to be in. It could take a net positive, a good positive property into something very negative. So I think that this is such a huge step, and it takes a lot of knowledge and it takes a lot of experience to gain all of this information. You don't just do it from your first, second, or third flip. It's constantly moving, and I think it's very important.
Yeah, and usually how this financing side works is we call this kind of like little bit, we call it like a bridge loan, right? There is a loan that we use. It's a shorter term loan, maybe 6 months at 12 months, so a year at the most. So we want to make sure that we get this financing approved, right? So if you guys want to get financing, probably your first 1, 2, 3 properties, they're going to be asking you for a lot of documents, because if you don't have a lot of track record, so this means that you are a little bit more, uh, you know, I don't want to use the word dangerous, maybe not like a good customer for the bank, right? Because the risk is more for them, right? So they want to probably give you an interest rate higher. Maybe they are not going to be loan you the whole money, maybe 80% of the whole value of the property. Maybe they will not loan you the money for repairs. But you start actually getting better relationship with the banks every time you flip a property, right? So in our case, the whole team, we have already combined over 300 houses. So for us, it's already not hard to get financing, and usually we have a really good relationship with different lenders, Harmony Loans. And then it's important to have not just one, we need to have multiple, right? Because at the end, you need to pick which one is best for you. And even if we have investors, we need to make sure that they works for everybody, right? So we usually try to get these loans approved for, at least 6 months, and the interest rate again is a little high. So it's important to consider the planning of this financing, because we need to know the worst case scenario that maybe is going to be taking us a year. So how much money we're going to be spending in just pay for the financing, right? Or how much money we're going to be making, at the end. So this is important. And when I mentioned earlier about, we make money when we buy, it's important to have a good spread in profit in order that, avoid these things if it takes a little longer to sell our property, right? So I know that this part excites you, Melly, because, you have some construction background, and you want to elaborate a little bit more about this, but why due diligence is key in making this business successful?
I mean, at the end of the day, knowledge is power, right? And what we're doing here is a construction project. So you're going to want to have ideally an expert to come in and help you with this next step. So realistically, the due diligence and the property inspection is huge. You want to come in, you want to make sure that you check out the property, look for things that are underlining that aren't necessarily going to be on on the paper. You want to be able to have the knowledge to basically have an idea of what happened, what's going on, and what you're going to do. So ultimately, I mean, it's you could have a lot of things that could break this, like structural problems. You could have bad piping. You can have bad electrical, which would cause not only a delay but also a lot of money and a lot of expertise, because these are not necessarily cheap things. So it's really smart, to, if you don't have somebody on your team already that is a professional in that field, to hire a professional, and that could save you a lot of money ultimately, because they'll know what to do, how to do it quicker, and how to do it financially intelligently, like in a really good way. So you might not have that knowledge, and it's just best to leave it to the professionals in that sense.
Exactly, exactly. So, and this is actually a little bit tied with the next step, but I just wanna, share with you guys, this quick story, because, when I started my journey in the fix and flips, I was the one doing all the job myself. So I didn't have any background in construction. So I was going to YouTube University to try to learn how to do those renovation, how to paint. So just it took me really long time because, of course, I didn't have the practice, and even I brought my fiance to actually go to paint these properties with me, right? And that's something that is not exciting because, the reality is that you need to work in a business that you enjoy, right? Because there is something that we always tell inside the team is like, you need to make sure that we're working on something that we love in order to don't feel that we are working. So it's a lot of fun, and this is what we do. That's why you guys see us 8 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Central here, talking to you guys and provide this value, because this is a lot of fun, and this excites us internally just to go and provide value to all of you, because we want to make sure that you guys you fully understand this business and you are fully educated before you decide to move in a partnership with us. That's the reality, right? Because we have in the past we have bad partnerships that they didn't work because we didn't do our due diligence, we didn't study it, the people maybe enough. So this is key. Due diligence is key in these terms, even relationships, right? So, but before we go to the fourth one, and I hope you guys are having fun from us, sharing those 5 steps. So I just want to remind you guys that, next week on Tuesday and Wednesday, October 24th and 25th, so we have a special event where we're going really deep about the fix and flip strategy. So basically, we're bringing the whole team, the whole partners. We have been doing that for maybe a month. We have like 2 weeks ago, we have our Harmony lender. She came to share all the strategies, all the requirements, how people can get approved for a loan. So yesterday, we have one successful investor that is actually part of our team as well. Where she made $80,000 in the first flip. This is exciting, guys. Just how many of you think that your life can change making $80,000 in your first project, right? So do you guys think that your life can change after that? Because for me, even my first 2 or 3 years, I have a $40,000 year salary, right? So just imagine with one property that can take 2 or 3 months, you are making already 2 years of work, right? Just working a 9 to 5, and sometimes even if you want to make more, you need to work, do a double job. So this is key, guys, and it's exciting. It's exciting, and remember October 24th and 25th. So mark that day in your calendar. So we're gonna be sharing with you guys the link down below in the. If you guys are watching us in YouTube or Facebook, we're gonna be sharing the link as soon as we finish this recording. But the fourth step, Melly, it's a renovation plan and timeline, right? I always say that time is money. Time is money, and then we want to make sure that return on investment, that's a term that we always keep for ourselves before we decide to go in a decision for a deal, right? Because we want to make sure that our money is invested and how long it's going to be taking us to get that profit and make our money back, right? So why do you think that renovation and planning is important, Melly?
It's crucial. It's crucial because delays can be very expensive. So realistically speaking, I mean, you want to have a time, so you want to have a schedule that is prepared. That way, you know when everything is going to happen. You can schedule people accordingly. You can make sure that you're in and out, because just like you said, time is money, right? So we want to go into this property, do what we have to do, get out, and on to the next one. So if there's any delays in that, it not only delays that individual property, but it delays the next one as well. So realistically, you just want to make sure that you're constantly on track, because if you're not, it's going to cost you every single time. Every single day that you don't sell that property, it's money that is not in your pockets, and it should be.
And even for the investor point of view, Melly, just imagine that you come and you invest in our properties, and then we tell you, okay, Melly, this project is gonna be taking 3 or 4 months. So how are you gonna be feeling if this property is taking 5 or 6 or maybe a year,
It's
right?
not. Yeah, I'm not going to be feeling good. I'm probably going to start trying to pull money out of my own pockets to make sure that they're happy. Because ultimately, I mean, the investor is number one, right? You want to make sure that you keep them happy, that you keep them, you want to keep your word. At the end of the day, you're only worth as much as your word. So if we say something is going to take X amount of time, we want to make sure we hit that goal. And if the whole team is going to be out there painting walls at 12 p.m. to make that happen, we're going to find a way, because that's we're going to treat all of this money like it's our own money, and we're all going to get paid. We're all going to get fed.
Exactly, So, and then at the end, people are gonna get pissed. They're gonna be like,
Yeah.
"What is my money? You told
Yeah.
me, you told me 3 months, and already 6 months, and you didn't pay me. So people get pissed. They don't get what they're expecting. So at the end, they will not invest with you anymore, right?
Hmm.
That's the reality. So that's why we're gonna make sure that we do a really conservative planning. We do a really conservative underwriting. Our exit in the price maybe is not going to be as high. Maybe we try to keep it lower, just to make sure that even we can over deliver in our returns, and even at the moment that we pay our investors, right? So the fifth part, Melly, and this is crucial, because we already mentioned about the beginning, right? How we get these properties, why it's important to analyze the market research, and now we mentioned the middle, about the planning, due diligence, how we can avoid to have a headaches, and now we are going to be talking about the exit, right? So let's talk a little bit about marketing and exit strategy, right? Why do you think that this is key? And then after that, I'm gonna be sharing how is that our team is already controlling the exit strategy.
Yeah, so this part, like you were saying, it's crucial, because this is ultimately, we've already talked about everything, right? The beginning, the middle. So this is the end. This is how you're going to leave. You have to make sure that all the steps here are pretty much in place, but you want to be flexible with it, because if it doesn't necessarily work one way, you have to be open minded to maybe trying something else. There are many, many things that can change the market. I mean, even speaking about the market right now, high interest rates. There was at one point in time where wood went up like 300%, material costs, a lot of different things. You just want to be able to be flexible, and you want to go with the flow in this scenario. But it's important, because realistically speaking, I mean, you have to think about many different things once the property is already remodeled and fixed, right? Like, who's the ideal buyer? What kind of price are you going to be looking for? Is that lenient? Is it not? You want to think about, for example, like I was just explaining, changes in the market, changes in the construction side, etc. We have to ensure that we remember that like risks, this is an investment, right? So because of that, we have to keep that on the back of our minds. There are many things that can change this scenario. But yeah, I mean, you really just have to work together as a team. That's the only way that you're able to tackle this step, is to put all your resources and make sure that this property gets sold. And that's our goal, that's our plan, and that's how we're going to do it. And Jonathan is going to pretty much explain to you guys how it is that our team does it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the exit strategy is key, guys. And then, so how we can mitigate the risk and how we can control the whole system, right? So we need to have already the end buyers, right? So that's how we do that. So somebody from our team, again, we have experience on over 300 houses that we flip, and that's even closer to the middle of 300. So probably that's around 350 combined between the whole team. So we have already somebody really experienced in the financing side, right? And there are a lot of people, they are looking to be a first time home buyers, right? So we try to help them to get approved for the financing. And then if we're helping them to get financing, who do you think that they are buying the property from, right? So we have already those buyers lined up after we finish fixing the properties, right? And we want to make sure that because we get this question a lot, it's like, okay, what's your budget? Like what is your buy box, right? Like what kind of properties are you looking for, right? So probably, we don't want to do, the million or $2 million house because, just imagine, for a first time home buyer, I don't think that they're going to be able to. I mean, some people, but not many people can be able to afford like a down payment for a $2 million house, like a monthly down payment, right? And at the end of the way, we want to make sure that, we are helping also the minorities because, we're Latin, so we want to make sure that we're also helping, our community, and they are looking to be first time home buyers, because I still remember how, all that feeling where I had, like buying my first home, and then you, Melly, is coming to you, like I think you're buying a house, right now.
Second one, yeah.
That's
It's our
awesome.
first one in Dallas, but yeah, I do remember the first time we purchased a house, the feeling of euphoria, and just like everyone that helped, you were just so grateful. So I can only imagine, your same community coming out and saying, "Hey, like don't worry, like I got your back, like let's help you out." It's one of the most beautiful things, one of the most beautiful feelings.
Exactly, and I still remember, all the people that helped me to make that dream become true, right? You still remember the people that get you approved for the loan. You still remember the people that maybe motivate you to like, hey, buy your first house. This is gonna change your life, right? So these people that we're helping them to get approved for financing for, the first time home buyers, like they're gonna come to us, and they already know our system. They already know, our, the areas that we're buying, the properties that we're selling. So they are just lining up and getting ready for, us to finish the project, and then that's pretty much how they purchase the properties from us. So we're controlling the whole equation, right, Melly? So coming from let's go back a little bit about the beginning, because we talk about market research and also how we find this property, right? So the question is gonna be, and I had this question a lot: how do you guys find properties, right? That's a good question, right? So one of
Mhm.
the strategies through wholesaling, right? And then we're gonna be actually providing this service later, right? So Melly and me, and Sergio were involved already. We're gonna be having our wholesaling company. So if you guys are actually investors that are looking to buy the whole house, and being active, so we're going to be providing this service later. So but if you guys want to be passive, because you have your W2 job, and there are some things that you realize that actually being an active investor is not as easy, right? Because you have a full-time W2 job, right? You don't have connections, you don't have experience, you don't have time, you have family commitments. So, and that's the list go on. So that's why people, they decide to be a passive investor, right? So do you think that passive investing, or being a passive investor, is that a good thing, Melly?
I'm a passive investor. I mean, first and foremost, I have my W-2 job, and I think fix and flip industry is amazing. I love it. I think that it works. But if you're gonna ask me, Melissa, quit your job and come do this full time, I'm gonna say you're crazy. You know what I mean? Which is why there are some things that I'm just gonna leave to the professionals. Like I say, I want to make sure that I can ultimately, I mean, being a passive investor is great because you're gonna be able to have the ability to put some money to the side that was already put to the side, right? Instead of putting it in the bank, you could invest it, and then my money comes back to me, X multiplied, and I didn't even do it. I didn't have to lift a finger. I didn't have to paint a wall. I didn't have to come home dirty, like nothing, nothing, nothing. So it's such a wonderful thing to be able to and be a passive investor, especially in this field, because it's quick and easy money. You don't have to lift a finger, and because the individuals that are in this field are so, they've built a machine at that point, right? They have pieces to every single step. So it's like if I'm investing my money into a machine, I'm more than happy to do that. So I think passive investing is a great thing, because it allows for your money to work for you, which is ultimately my end goal.
Yeah, exactly. So and this is about start early. And probably you guys have these thoughts in the past, like how my life will be different if I start doing this 10 years ago, right? I know that that's in your mind. That's a question that you ask yourself every time. How my life will be different at this moment if I start doing X or Y thing 10 years ago, right? And that's something that we'll always tell people. Okay, like we get this question a lot. Oh, is this a good time to invest, right? So let's elaborate about this, Melly. When people ask you, is this a good time to invest? What do you think?
I think the best time to invest was yesterday. I mean, my whole question is like, what are you waiting for, right? Where are you going to allocate your money in the stock market? That's so volatile; it goes up and down. People don't know how to judge it. Even then, you might want to find a mentor that can teach you exactly how to do that. Everything is circled around that, but realistically, like, bonds, what is it? Where is it that you're going to put your money? Might as well. Why are you going to leave it in the bank, right? To let them invest your money and not give you any profits. So it's just kind of like the best time to invest is today. The second best time to invest is today. The best time to invest is yesterday. So don't feel bad that you didn't invest 10 years ago. Feel happy and just know that there's a knock at your door, and it's the opportunity is right here in front of you, waiting right now. So if you feel, and you should have said that you're thinking to yourself, I should have invested 10 years ago, just change that up and say I can invest today. Like the opportunity is here, and we're giving you all the information that you need in order to be able to hopefully make that decision.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then again, I always say I wish I started earlier, but never is late. Late is tomorrow. That's how I will say that. So, but yeah, guys, let's finish the conversation again, because if you guys just join this call next week on Tuesday and Wednesday, October 24th and 25th, we have an event. And this is an event planning actually where we are going really deep about this, how fix and flip strategy actually make us become really successful in the real estate industry. How is that we are able to make 60, 80,000, $100,000 doing a fix and flips in just 3, 4, maybe 6 months, right? So I felt so selfish because we were making money ourselves, and why not to share that with everybody, right?
Exactly.
I'm one of them that thinks that if we provide value to the people, because I believe a lot about energies, those things are going to come back to you as a blessing, right? That's why we are sharing that information. That's why we are doing that event. That uh, trust me, guys, it's not easy, right? We're going to be introducing you the whole team, like exactly how is that we are doing it, right? So make sure that you mark that in your calendar. You keep it there, October 24th and 25th at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So the link again is going to be posted here, below this video, and you guys can go and register. So we have limited seats, so you guys make sure that don't miss this opportunity, because again, it's about learning and then showing you why is that we are doing it, showing you the reason, showing you what is our why, why, like why financial freedom, why passive income, why this strategy, right? And there are some things that we don't mention in this call. We went like, over the surface, right? So what do you think that people should be going to that call, Melly, just to finish this conversation?
Yeah, I think that every one of you should be there just because it's going to expand your mind and give you knowledge that you didn't even know was there. I mean, you're talking to someone that grew up, like I said, we were very low income. So it's one of those things like if my family would have heard about this, we would have so hubiera, there would have been money for the tortillas.
Yeah,
You see
right.
what I'm saying? But I mean, this is just going to give you the knowledge and the power. And once you see what it's all about, you're going to be like, whoa, I need to do this now, because it can really change your life. It could change your family's life, and it's going to set the pace for the rest of your life. I mean, how hard do you want to work for the next few years? So it's just to be able to have that opportunity right here in front of you. I think that you guys should take advantage of it because you know uh, now's the time. If it wasn't yesterday, it's today.
Exactly. Guys, again, remember that day, October 24th and 25th, mark that in your calendar. So, again, guys, this is going to be a really good event. I promise you, you will get some value. So, and if you guys got some value from this call, make sure that you share this with everybody because, again, we're providing value to you guys. But just imagine you invite somebody to that call and you change somebody's life as well, right? Because somebody can hear this and then you guys can partner up, and that's how actually we find all our partners, and we are successful in this business. But yeah, that's all I have for you guys today. So thank you, Melly, for being here, and for you guys that are watching right now, thank you so much for being here. So I'll see you guys. Remember, every day at this time, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, we're going to be going in our social media, the Cash Flow Empire team, me, Melly, Joshi, Sergio, Jimmy, Helen, Victoria, Irma. I don't think that I miss anybody. So, yeah, that's all. So, thank you guys for being here again, and then have a wonderful night. Thank you so much, Melly. Appreciate that.
Good night. Thank you guys. My pleasure.
Bye bye.